Hey, what is up, guys? Pine Belt Beer Reviews back here again with you today for another one. And this one that I have here today with me is Abita's Andygator Helles Doppelbock, 8% alcohol ABV. Um, Gets 80 on Beer Advocate. Bros have not looked at it. And it gets a 3.5 on Untapped. I've had this one a few times, but I just have not done a review on it. So, yeah, wanted to go ahead and do that. And actually, I think the only other Hellesbach that I might have actually had besides the Andygator is the. Um, no, actually, no, that's a Maibach. I was thinking about the Rogue Dead Guy Ale, but that's a Maibach. That's right. So I don't think I've had any other Hellesbachs besides the Andygator. So my Hellesbach or Helles Doppelbach game is not very strong, but I'll just go ahead and tell you guys what I think anyway, just for those who haven't had it. So with that pour, you basically get pretty much a dark gold appearance in the color. I would say maybe a bit orange in color, but I mean it's mostly just gold. Lots of carbonation all along the glass, and a head that basically fizzled away really quick because it's got a strong alcohol content, and so you're going to find most of the carbonation actually in the body of the beer itself, not so much in like a head that it might produce, or in this case, it does not produce. So otherwise, golden appearance, looks very beer-like as you can see. So let's go ahead and go for the aroma on it. So the aroma is very fruity, kind of weedy. A good bit of grain in there too, I think. Maybe a little bit of apple juice. That's just something that I personally get with a lot of beers. Is for some reason I get an apple juice kind of aroma to them. Maybe a little bit of malt, but it's a very bright, very fruity, very light smelling beer. So let's go ahead and go for the flavor on this. So that kind of apple juicy kind of aroma is also a bit present in the flavor, but it's a lot more malty than it is. It's a lot more malty in flavor than it is in the aroma. Also, kind of getting the grains kind of more towards the back. They're kind of. I don't think there's really all that much of a hop profile on this, if at all. Um, it's mostly just those weedy, malty, sweet flavors in there, with the sort of grainy kind of bitterness instead of hoppy bitterness in the back. So it's got a little bit of bitterness to it. It's very, very slight though, and it's mostly, from what I'm getting, is probably from a type of grain. The fruitiness is kind of in the front, into the middle, where I get kind of that apple juice kind of flavors in the middle. And then it gets very grassy and weedy and malty in the back, very bready. Body is more or less medium. Despite the 8% alcohol ABV, it does have a fairly wet finish. It's actually fairly drinkable. But you do get a little bit of that alcohol dryness. Towards the back, it's not so much though as lending to like a dry finish in terms of heat from alcohol or anything like that. It's mostly all just about the a little bit of that flavor of the alcohol, not so much the heat though, if that makes sense. Overall though, it's a very interesting beer. It took me a little while to get into this style, especially the Andygator flavor. It took me a couple tries actually of drinking it to kind of get you know get my bearings on this style of beer. I'm more um, I'm more prone in the first place to the just regular darker like Doppelbock's, um, Wasatch Brewery Company's, what was it called, Devastator. Doppelbock is kind of it's sort of like the same thing with like you have like Hefeweizens, which are very bright and fruity in flavor, and then you have the ones that are kind of more like like with Hefeweizens, you have like the apricot kind of flavors and stuff like that in those, and the bananas and tropical fruits, very bright in color and in flavor. And then with like Dunkelweisens, you sort of have like that same type of deal, but it's a wheat beer. They're both wheat beers, but the Dunkelweizen is more like the dark wheats. You have more of the darker flavors like dates and figs and stuff like that. And that's kind of the same thing with the Helles Doppelbocks, and then you have like the darker ones, like the Wasatch Brewing Company's Devastator Doppelbock, like I just mentioned. So it's kind of the same sort of style thing. It's just kind of like uh, uh, you have like sun facing part of the moon, dark side of the moon kind of thing with each style like that. But for this one, being that I have not had any other kind of Helles Doppelbox to my knowledge, that I can remember, this being kind of one of the only ones. I wouldn't go any more lower than an A minus on Abita's Andygator. So you see it, I'm sure you will, because I see it all over the place, at least in the southeast. Abita from I keep wanting to say New Orleans, but they're not necessarily from New Orleans. Abita Springs, Louisiana. Um, so yeah, definitely recommend checking it out and see what you think. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching.